What's up, guys? People have been asking me about Top Gun, to get a Top Gun review. Have I seen Top Gun? Well, my wife, Wei, and I have seen Top Gun. Wei, what's up?
Hello.
So she's been in a couple of the videos. If you guys have never seen her on the channel, we're going to tag team. She's going to be my wingman for this Top Gun review. I thought it was awesome. What did you think?
I thought it was great. Probably one of the best action movies I've seen in a while.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say in Top Gun, Maverick, Tom Cruise didn't just save America, he saved Hollywood. Because this is like going to be the comeback for movies in theaters, I feel like. Like this movie hopefully jumpstarts a trend of movies going back to being more authentic, more just true visuals and not all CGI and character stories and not be like a stupid over-the-top sequel that has no purpose.
Yeah.
Did you like feel that when you saw like the real planes and everything?
Yeah, I thought the graphics were amazing. And I think we did a little bit of research before the movie that, most of the scenes weren't green screen. So a lot of the action was real, pulled off by real pilots, which was very impressive.
Yeah, so I don't think that there was any green screen.
Yeah.
And there was special effects, obviously. By the way, spoiler is going to be in this review. There was no actual like green screen, but there were special effects. Obviously, they didn't like crash planes and kill people in the movie.
Right.
Although
Bombs.
Tom Cruise killed a few people for sure. A few of these enemies in the other country that goes unnamed.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the practical effects and putting cameras in cockpits with the crew and everything it was absolutely epic.
Yeah, that's great. And I really like that they really integrated the whole like aircraft carrier concept at the end, because like it's not just a Top Gun movie, it's like a Navy movie.
It is.
So you saw all the aspects of people who worked on an aircraft carrier, the other planes, the Tomahawk missiles, all those things. That's
so you had
cool.
the destroyer, you had the E-2 flying around doing electronic countermeasures.
Yep.
And it was, the whole thing was great. And people have been coming in the comments saying that this movie was some kind of like propaganda piece.
No.
Well, first of all, like duh, like it kind of was. You know what I mean?
Sure,
Like it was like patriotic.
Right.
It was pro-Navy.
Yeah.
It definitely
the spike in recruiting after the first Top Gun was there. It's probably going to spike now, but it's not like.
But it's not like.
It's not political.
It's not like political propaganda. It's not like harmful propaganda. It's just feel good with marketing. It's like a feel good movie with marketing attached. And that's good. The Navy probably could use something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
The whole movie was great. Like right in the beginning, Tom Cruise and his test crew, they go out there to the desert. And then they're going to cancel that flight. Do you remember that? But he goes and he goes, well, they're not here yet. The admiral's not here yet.
Right,
and he like kind of steals the plane.
I think there's a common saying in the military, which is don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness.
Yeah.
And he truly embodied that. So that was great.
You know, I was thinking about that and I was like, you know what Tom Cruise really shows there? Like about Maverick? Because the story's like Maverick goes back to the cocky Top Gun student in 1985 movie. And now he's this older captain who just is flying and staying in the Navy because he loves it. Yeah. And the whole reason, and he says it in the movie, the whole reason that he takes that flight and tries to hit that Mach 10 is so his team will continue to thrive. Yeah. You know, he decides to take the hit from the Navy, put that on him to go take the plane and go fly it and kind of potentially sacrifice himself in his career to move his team forward and keep the project going and keep people employed. And that's kind of a big character arc right in the first scene of the movie. Yeah.
I think it really embodies the spirit of, like the type of leadership that we're looking for, which is the top-down leadership. So people who know like who their team is and want to take care of their team before they take care of themselves.
Yeah. Hey, we need more of that out there in the actual Navy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a super underrated part of that for me is after he ejects, going, Mach 10.4 or whatever. Yeah. When he walks into the diner right in the beginning and he says, "Where am I?" and that little kid says, "Earth." Like,
welcome to Earth.
I was dying laughing in the theater. I thought it really set the tone for the movie, which is going to be very serious scenes done really well with a joke inserted at the perfect moment.
Yeah. To keep it lighthearted.
Yeah, kind of jumping later on in the movie. It's kind of like after Miles Teller's Rooster
Yeah.
shoots down that helicopter that's like about to just wreck Tom Cruise.
Right.
And then he crashes and Tom Cruise runs up through the forest.
It's an emotional moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were
Both
you
of them
thinking?
are stranded.
What
yeah.
were you thinking? I
wasn't thinking.
You told me not to think. He says, "I told you. You told me not to think."
You told me not to think.
Oh my God, that was like I was feeling choked up in that moment because it was like
that was hilarious. That was so perfect,
and he emotion.
He delivered that perfectly too.
Yeah, the cast. I'm looking at the cast on my computer right now. Tom Cruise is Maverick, obviously. Jennifer Connelly is Penny Benjamin, who I realized I saw like on a TikTok or something like that. She was the Admiral's daughter, referenced in one line in the original Top Gun movie.
Right.
Oh, you hooked up with Penny, the Admiral's daughter, or whatever.
That's like a little Easter egg.
Yeah, and then Goose says, "Oh, Penny Benjamin."
Yeah.
And that's like the only time she's mentioned in Top Gun 1. Then she's a main character in this one.
Yeah, I had no idea who she was.
I thought the romance part fit perfectly in the movie. I don't think it distracted me or anything.
No, I think it's cute.
Gave Maverick something to want to come home for.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like, what's his motivation for
Right.
surviving that? He's got no family, he's got no kids, so he needed something to like ground him and us to want him, and him to want to make it back from this mission.
Right.
You've got Miles Teller, who did a great job as Rooster. Do you know Miles Teller? You remember him from any of the movies?
I don't really watch a lot of movies.
He's great.
What else has he been in?
He was in The Fantastic Four, was probably the worst movie ever.
That's what you remember him
No, well,
from.
he was in what was the Drumline or something like that with where he plays like a drummer, and that was a really good performance.
Huh. Okay. Anything more recent?
What more recent than that? He's been in a few things. I'll have to double check.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
No, he's a great rooster, though.
Yeah, John Hamm as kind of a douchey admiral who doesn't want Tom Cruise to do anything.
Right.
Val Kilmer comes back as Iceman. I thought that was really good.
Yes.
And all the supporting cast was great. Hangman, Phoenix, that was Monica Barbero. She did a great job.
Yep.
Payback, all the cool. Bob, the nerdy backseater. Bob, remember
that guy? Oh, yeah. Aw.
That was great. Gotta love Bob.
Yeah,
That kid.
Bob.
Everyone did a great job.
He didn't even have what is it? What's that called?
Well, didn't he
nickname?
he didn't? Well, Bob was his nickname.
I know, but what is that term called?
His call sign.
Call sign, right? His call sign was just his name.
His Bob.
Which is just so funny.
The movie has this. Half the movie is this training montage. Basically, like there's the intro, then like the whole middle part of the movie is training. What do you think about all that?
I think it was well paced. So like when you think about training, right? Like you have like your iconic Rocky training, which is like you build up to like this big thing, and it's like every part of that, graphic or, video has a meaning to build up, right? And then there are some movies that have like a training part where you're just like, oh, it's just things. It's just they're just trying to fill the time, right? So this training, I thought it was really good because they had like all these sections. Like each training had an objective, right? You're gonna make it through this canyon at this time, or you're gonna pull up vertically and hit Mach 9 or something at this time. And so it was really cool to see like if they failed or didn't fail, and it gave them an opportunity to showcase like what pilots can do. Yeah. So that was really cool.
Yeah, and everything in there was based off of realistic stuff. There was some Hollywood things in there, of course. Like there were some of those flight maneuvers that would never happen, like split when he flies up in between the two jets.
Yeah.
That would never happen. There's a scene where he's standing in front
of
everybody.
You don't think that really happened? Do you think they even...
That was two different shots spliced together. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So there was a scene where he's sitting up in front of the students and he takes out that big book. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And he throws it in the trash can.
Right.
That's their NATOPS manual.
Yeah.
Which is like in the Navy, in naval aviation, NATOPS is like this one giant book that you get for the type of aircraft that you work on, and you like never deviate from NATOP stuff. And he's like, we're just gonna throw this in the trash. And so some of that was like Hollywood. I mean, they still need all those checklists and stuff like that. But
just forget everything you learned.
But I think what he's trying to demonstrate is like everyone in that crew is supposed to be so good that they have to go beyond what's in NATOPS now. And they have to take this to the next, take it to the next level, raise the stakes as this training mission.
Right.
And then, do you remember that scene where, hey, our doggy is over here? By the way, guys, we're in the middle of moving from Japan to the United States, and so our house is a mess, and we don't really have many things or anything like that. So we're just hanging out here. We thought we'd do this Top Gun review for you. Make sure you subscribe. And by the way, shirts, Train to Train shirt, and Fast Mover shirt. If you want to support the channel, scuttlebuttshow.com. Link in the description down below. Do you remember that part where the one pilot who I think it's on here, it's Payback? He passes out he gets G-lock.
Yeah.
And he's crashing, and Tom Cruise like wakes him up with a
by
missile
pretending
top
to
lock. And then just another time where like they build this incredible suspense in that moment.
Yeah.
And then as soon as that's over, the Phoenix gets a bird strike.
Oh,
and then she actually has to eject. Remember?
Yeah.
Just, that pacing, you were talking about pacing.
Yeah.
The pacing of tense moments, and then into kind of lighthearted moments or plotline moments about like Rooster and Maverick and their relationship and all that stuff were just done perfectly, I think. I don't think you could have done any better on it. We couldn't have asked for more from a sequel.
Yeah.
And then like the finale, the battle scene.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Do you remember that shot where he's going up they call it the elevator or the L1 or whatever on the aircraft carrier standing between the two jets?
Yeah.
And his chief warrant officer who's like, who has
Honda.
every job in the Navy. Yeah. By the way, he's like just doing everything everywhere. He comes up and they have like this moment. Oh, the crew gets in, they launch off the aircraft carrier, and that was so cool.
Very cool.
And they go on the final run to go attack the base, and there's Tomahawk missiles flying over their heads.
Yeah.
People were asking me in the comments, how come they didn't just put the Tomahawks on the surface-to-air missile sites?
Right.
Because the movie has to happen.
The movie has to happen.
Because otherwise, I guess you could say maybe that would have given away the element of surprise, and then they would have launched their 5th-gen fighters.
Right, yeah.
Which is like the current F-35 is like a 5th-gen fighter. So basically they're saying these are F-18s versus F-35s up there in dogfighting, which it should be.
But it's not about the aircraft, right? It's about the pilot.
It's about the pilot. It's not about the aircraft, which leads us into, that whole thing with them flying through the canyon and Rooster's falling behind, and then he punches it double time.
I know. That was very
Here's
nice.
where, like, at this point, we have to talk about how this movie was just Star Wars repackaged. I had on my TikTok the other day, I had a great comment.
But the graphics were better.
Yeah, the graphics were better. The
cinematography.
we should say cinematography.
Yes.
Because
it's
the
you're
cinematography.
Right. It's not graphics.
Somebody on my TikTok the other day said if Rooster is like our Luke Skywalker, somebody on my TikTok the other day said he even had to get trained by his dead dad's friend.
Yes.
And I thought that was it's so true. Even to the point where Rooster, when he comes in, Bob's lasers stop working, and he has to basically use the Force. He says, "I'm just going to go off my visuals or whatever,
my vibe."
Yeah, just going to vibe it. It's just a vibe, and he fires it just with
deadly
line
accuracy
of sight or whatever. Hits something barely
never
bigger
hit
than
it in training,
Yeah.
but definitely never miss it in real life.
And it was barely bigger than a Womp Rat.
Yeah.
And then they come out of the Death Star trenches, and there's TIE fighters, right? So they have the 5th gens.
Yep.
And then they get shot down. So then they have to go hijack those F-14s.
That was so... that's just nostalgic, Like, you can rag on it all you want, but it just was like, it screamed first Top Gun, which was great.
They foreshadowed it pretty hard, too.
Yeah.
There's a scene in the beginning where they're showing them satellite imagery, and they're like, we even think there's a few F-14s in this hangar right here, and they, like, glow on the screen.
I know. I didn't even think that was even going to be a thing. That's great foreshadowing. I didn't even pick that up.
Yeah, it was like... Oh, they're going there. They're going to do this.
That's so funny.
But you don't know how they're going to do it,
Right.
And the way that they did it was pretty epic.
Yeah.
So then we go into, they go in there. He doesn't know how to like read the controls or whatever.
Right.
They have to crank the APU. So he has Rooster like turn on the APU, which is like the auxiliary power unit, which starts the APU on an aircraft. I think this is how F-14s work. There's an APU engine. So you have to start an engine. Okay. That engine starts the other engines. Oh, so they use that like APU or they start the APU, start the other engines.
No wonder this went out of commission.
And then they take, that's how planes work generally. The APU runs like the electrical systems, so you can start everything and then use that to, it's like you're kind of like a gas-powered battery. That's a bad example, but it's just like it's a smaller engine used to power all the systems that you need to start the actual engines. Okay. So it's like a minimal power source.
Got it.
I don't know, F-14s, I think that's what was happening, but if that's totally wrong, please educate me in the comments section. Then they take off on that short, so everything's suspenseful, right? They have to take off on the short damaged runway, they barely make it.
Yeah.
Then they're flying.
How did we make it again?
They just made it, they just barely made it.
Oh, okay. Wasn't there like a ramp? Or
super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Got it, yeah. Okay, all right.
So then, shout out to that guy's channel.
I don't know. I know what you're saying.
If you guys know what I'm talking about, it's pitch meetings, right? Pitch meetings. That guy's great. So then they're flying around. They get met by the other two fighters. The guy gets in position.
Yeah.
And Rooster's like, if you're gonna do something, you got to do it or whatever.
Yes.
And when Tom Cruise like rips it to the right with the machine guns, and I got the biggest chills. Like
that was good.
I knew that we were about to be in for some epic scenes.
That he was gonna that one F-14 was gonna take on 2 5th-gen aircrafts.
Yeah. It was awesome.
Yeah, that was great.
And then
action wasn't over.
Action was not over. And as they're flying out, they get 90% of the way there.
Yeah.
But they're about to get killed because they're out of bombs. They're out. Oh, and he even says out of missiles, switching to guns. Right? They even bring that line back. This movie had it all.
Yeah.
and then at the last minute,
switching to pistols.
Yeah. And then lightsaber's not working. or blaster's not working. Switching to lightsaber.
Yeah.
At the last second, Hangman, who's our other character, needs kind of a retribution. He's like our modern day Iceman,
Yeah.
So he needs a character arc too. So he comes in and selflessly saves the day.
Because because he had to save them to show that he was willing to like sacrifice something because his call sign kind of dictated everything about his character trait.
Yep. And oh yeah, that's the other thing. When they were taking off, they lost their front landing gear. They lost their front wheel, right? So they had to give the flight deck crew one last great scene, which is they got to rig the barricade.
Yeah, that
which
was
is
cool.
When I worked on the flight deck, we would practice that all the time. So they would up there, you have like the arresting wires, and then just forward of that, you have this basically like trench on the flight deck, and they lift up the cover of that, and you pull out this giant steel braided cable net. And that's for situations like that, like no landing gear or emergencies or whatever. Yeah. They land in that, which is actually really dangerous. I think they kind of underplayed how dangerous that was because the landing went pretty smooth.
Yeah.
But they recover and they have that big celebration on the flight deck, and the whole thing was just, it was epic.
Yeah.
It was epic. I had
great.
Choked up a few times.
Yeah. Definitely cried a little.
Cried a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I think my knees were like shaking from the tension there.
Yeah, I think all the action was it really kind of white knuckled it. It was great.
And I know we're at the end of the movie now, but I just want to go back to when they're about to finish training and the program's canceled and they up the time to 4 minutes or whatever. And out of nowhere, he's like, I'm coming in. Yep. Activate the course or whatever.
Right.
And he's like, I'm going to do it in 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
Right.
So they were on a 2:30 time frame, and they were like, it's impossible. He goes, I'll do it in 2:15.
Yeah.
And he pulls it off, and it's like, oh man, it was just the
movie.
It's
just, you had to believe it, right? He's a character that inspires. That's what he does. He inspires.
He inspires, and he leads. Tom Cruise's Maverick in this movie leads. Yeah, that's his character arc.
He showed his team that he can do it too. Like whatever I expect of you, I can do it too.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was I think it was perfect. I think it was one of the best movies I've seen in a long time. Maybe one of the best action movies of all time.
Yeah.
You think you agree?
Yeah, I would say I haven't felt that on the edge of my seat. But we haven't been to movies in so long. Yeah. But I really haven't felt that on the edge of my seat in a while. So that was great.
And it was cool. We got to see it on bass. So they played the national anthem before the movie started. It was.
Tom Cruise had a little message.
Yeah, Tom Cruise had a little message before the movie started, welcoming everybody back to theaters. Yeah. I think just Tom Cruise is the greatest actor of our generation. And if you disagree with me, just let me know who is more influential on movies, who is more consistent in quality of movies. Just leave it in the comments. Who's better, honestly? Yeah. Who's better? Even if you don't like him, who is doing more for movies than Tom Cruise? Who is a bigger Hollywood star putting out epic content better than Tom Cruise? Just leave it in the comments. And it was a great send-off. If they never make a Top Gun 3, I think Top Gun 2 did the job. And if they do make a Top Gun 3, I'd love to see Miles Teller come back and do something.
What would you predict would happen in Top Gun 3?
Top Gun 3?
Yeah. Do you think it's going to be like Star Wars 7?
I'd like to see Top Gun 3 is post-apocalyptic.
Oh, wow.
And they have to build a plane from scratch. To get back in the sky, you know what I mean?
Okay.
You have to use the airframers and the mechanics and all that stuff, and actually reinvent the Wright brothers, take flight again.
That's incredibly difficult. That's no longer going to be about the Navy or Top Gun.
Well, if Top Gun 2 was if Top Gun 2 was called Top Gun Maverick, Top Gun 3, it could be Rooster's movie, and it could be Top Gun Cock-a-doodle-doo. Cockpit a doodle-doo.
I think
Top Gun 3, cockpit a doodle-doo.
I think Hollywood's ready for your pitch.
I'll sell it to you for only $10 million.
Yeah. Good luck.
Oh, Jesus.
Whoa.
Oh, Jesus. All right, so I think that means our dog needs some food or something like that. Do you have anything else for a Top Gun review?
No.
All right, guys. I hope that you guys...
said it pretty well.
You too. I hope you guys got a chance to see Top Gun, and if you did, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Like I said, Fast Mover shirts, Train to Train shirts, scuttlebuttshow.com, linked in the description. I want to thank you guys for watching. I know content's been slow on the channel lately because we're in the middle of this move, but more videos like this to come. I just got to check out The Interceptor on Netflix, which was a horrible movie. Probably do a review on that. I'm going to get my wife to watch it, and then maybe we'll come back for another review. If you like us doing these together, also let me know that in the comments, and I'll drag her on here for more of these videos. Would that be okay with you?
We'll see. We will see.
We will see. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I look forward to talking to you all very soon. For now, from us here in Japan, that's the Scuttlebutt.